In the heart of a bustling Hausa market, where the air hummed with the vibrant symphony of trade, lived Zainabu. Her hands, skilled and quick, wove intricate patterns into fabrics, her creations a testament to the beauty she saw in the world. But this vibrancy faded the moment she stepped into her own compound, where the laughter of children was replaced by a heavy, palpable silence. Her stepson, Sadiq, a boy whose world had been shattered by the loss of his mother, met her kindness with a wall of resentment. Every gentle word she offered was met with a cold stare, every carefully prepared meal left untouched. Sadiq's grief was a fortress, and Zainabu, for all her love and effort, could not find a way inside. Desperate to bridge the chasm growing between them, to bring warmth back into their home, Zainabu felt her hope begin to fray. She knew she needed guidance, a wisdom greater than her own, to heal the heart of the boy she longed to call her son. Her quest for a solution led her down dusty paths to the humble abode of Malam Dantala, an old herbalist whose wisdom was as renowned as his remedies. His face, etched with the lines of countless seasons, held a deep and calming kindness. Zainabu poured out her heart, her voice thick with unshed tears, describing the cold distance and Sadiq's unwavering rejection. She confessed her fear that their family was breaking apart, that the silence in their home would soon become permanent. Malam Dantala listened patiently, his eyes never leaving hers. When she finished, he didn't offer a simple potion or a quick charm. Instead, he spoke of a different kind of cure. He told her of Galadima Haruna, a warrior of legendary fierceness, a man so formidable that lions were said to shy away from his path. He lived in a solitary compound, far from the village. The cure for Zainabu's troubles, the herbalist explained, required a single, seemingly impossible ingredient, a thread plucked from the very robe of this fearsome warrior. The task seemed absurd, a fool's errand. How could she, a simple weaver, approach such a man? Yet, clinging to a sliver of hope, Zainabu accepted the challenge. The path to healing her family, it seemed, was to be a journey of courage she never imagined she would have to take. The next morning, before the sun had fully risen, Zainabu prepared a bowl of fura da nono, a creamy, nourishing millet porridge, Sadiq's favorite. She walked the long, dusty road to Galadima Haruna's compound, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. She found him outside, his presence as imposing as the stories had described, polishing a long, gleaming spear. His face was a mask of stone, his eyes sharp and dismissive. Taking a deep breath, Zainabu approached, knelt respectfully, and offered the traditional greeting, Ranka Yadade, long may you live. She placed the bowl of porridge on the ground before him and quietly retreated without another word. He didn't acknowledge her, his focus remaining on his weapon. The next day, she returned. This time, she brought freshly made waina, sweet rice pancakes. Again, she knelt, offered her greeting, and left the food. Again, she was met with silence. Day after day, week after week, Zainabu made the pilgrimage. She brought tuo shinkafa with rich groundnut soup, savory kosai, and sweet, sticky dates. Each visit was the same, her respectful greeting, the offering of food, and the warrior's unyielding, stony silence. The villagers began to whisper, calling her foolish for trying to win over the heartless warrior. Her own hope wavered, but the image of Sadiq's lonely eyes pushed her forward. She was determined to see this through, no matter how long it took. Her persistence was not just about getting a thread. It was becoming a daily act of faith. Months passed. The seasons began to turn, and Zainabu's daily visits became a familiar rhythm in the quiet life of the warrior. One afternoon, as she approached with a steaming bowl of stew, something shifted. For the first time, Galadima Haruna looked up as she knelt. He didn't speak, but the hardness in his eyes had softened, replaced by a flicker of curiosity. A few days later, he gave a slight nod in response to her greeting. Then, one remarkable morning, as she placed a bowl of porridge before him, he spoke. His voice, unused to conversation, was deep and gravelly. "Why do you do this?" he asked, his gaze direct. "Why do you bring me food every day when I have given you nothing in return?" Zainabu's heart leaped, but she kept her voice steady. "I ask for nothing but your well-being, Galadima," she replied softly. The warrior looked at her, then at the food, and finally, a slow, faint smile touched his lips. He gestured for her to sit. They spoke for the first time, not as a fearsome warrior and a timid woman, but as two people sharing a quiet moment. After a while, Zainabu found the courage to explain her quest. She spoke of her stepson and the thread she needed from Malam Dantala's cure. The warrior listened intently. Without a word, he reached down and with a gentle tug, pulled a single, strong thread from the hem of his embroidered robe. He placed it in her palm. "You have earned this," he said, his voice now gentle. "Your patience has conquered a stubborn old warrior. Perhaps it can conquer a young boy's heart as well." Clutching the precious thread, Zainabu practically flew back to Malam Dantala's home, her heart soaring with triumph. She presented the thread to the old herbalist, her face beaming with her success. "I did it, Malam. I got the thread from the warrior's robe." The old man smiled warmly, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. He took the thread from her, looked at it, and then handed it right back. "You no longer need this, my child," he said gently. Zainabu was stunned. "But the cure?" she stammered, confused. "The cure was not in the thread," Malam Dantala explained. "It was in the journey you took to get it. Tell me, how did you manage to get this from the most feared man in the land?" Zainabu thought for a moment, recounting the long months. "I was patient," she said slowly. "I was gentle. I showed him respect every day, even when he ignored me. I offered him kindness without expecting anything in return. I slowly, carefully, won his trust." The herbalist nodded. "Exactly. You use patience, persistence, and unconditional kindness to soften a heart of stone. Now, go home and use that same medicine on your son." The realization dawned on Zainabu like the morning sun. The quest wasn't about magic or a special ingredient. It was a lesson. She had learned the art of patience, the quiet power of unwavering love. She returned to her compound not with a magical thread, but with a new, profound understanding and a heart full of renewed hope. From that day forward, everything changed. When Sadiq turned away from her, Zainabu no longer felt despair, but saw a boy hurting. She sat with him in his silence, not demanding conversation, but simply sharing the space, her calm presence a quiet offering of support. When he refused the food she made, she would leave it for him, saying gently, "It is here if you feel hungry, my son." She didn't push or plead. Instead, she showed him the same persistent, gentle kindness she had shown the warrior. She began to tell him stories of Galadima Haruna, not as a fearsome man, but as the lonely person she had come to know. Slowly, miraculously, the fortress around Sadiq's heart began to crumble. One evening, he quietly sat and ate the meal she had prepared. A week later, he answered one of her questions with more than a single word. Then one afternoon, as Zainabu was weaving, Sadiq came and sat beside her, watching her hands move. He picked up a loose thread and handed it to her. In that small gesture, a bridge was built. The silence in their compound was gradually replaced by shared stories, by quiet companionship, and eventually, by the sound of laughter. Zainabu had learned that the most powerful magic in the world wasn't found in a potion or a charm, but in the enduring, patient, and unconditional power of love. Their compound was finally a home, filled with the peace she had so desperately sought. Thank you for watching our story today. If you were touched by Zainabu's journey of patience and love, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.